It's not possible to overstate the power of relationships. We just touched on a few things here.
I always wanted to create a place that I want to work, right? I spent a ton of time there.
Hello, everyone. It is Mandy with Answer Force here. We are with CNR Magazine Season 3 of the Masterclass on Power Skills. And I'm so excited to be here with you all today. I have an amazing person with me, Keegan Trudgen with PuroClean, and I'm going to hand it over to Keegan to make his introduction and we'll get started.
Hey, Mandy, thanks for inviting me. I really appreciate it. It's going to be fun. Yeah, Keegan Trudgen from PuroClean. We have locations in Chicago, Milwaukee, Dallas, Detroit, and Green Bay. So we're operating in 4 different states. We see a lot of disasters, and I'm really excited to talk to you today.
Well, thank you so much for joining me, Keegan. And yeah, I was just in Chicago. Chicago is absolutely stunning. I have to go back, and next time I will definitely make sure that I come and hang out with you and your team there in Chicago.
For sure.
So, on to the topic of power skills. I think we should probably start with asking, what do you think your top power skill is?
Well, you sent me, we chatted a little bit before, and you asked me that, and I had to stop for a minute. And then I said, I was having a conversation with one of my colleagues, and he was asking me these random thoughts and questions, and he's like, "Man, you know everything." And I said, "Listen, I read 12 to 14 books a year. I listen to about 2 hours of podcasts, and not like murder mystery podcasts, but like business and economics and all sorts of, relevant podcasts every day." So I'm like, that's a lot of like, just a lot of junk in my brain. And it's not junk, it's a lot of good knowledge. But anyway, that's one of the things that I told you. I said it's not really something that's specific to me, but it's something that anybody could do. But it's very important to continuously learn what new technologies are out there, learn what other people in different industries are doing, and then apply it to your industry or whatever you're doing to take those skills and tricks and tips and technology and apply them to what you have going on.
I do have to agree with you, Keegan. I'm not going to go into our beginning story, but let's just say little to say it led to you sending me an article to read.
Yeah,
So
very good. And we're talking about AI, and we don't have to get into the story because it's a great story, but that's for a different day. But AI is one of the, obviously it's the hot topic of the day. And I listened to Scott Galloway. I listened to one of his podcasts, and yesterday he said, "Listen, AI is not going to take your job. Some kid who uses AI is going to take your job, but AI in itself is not going to take your job." So if you can be that person who learns how to use AI, it can really give you a leg up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. You still have to keep that human person present, but we've had this conversation. We've had this conversation before. But when it comes to learning, would you say that is something that, because I know, prior to PuroClean, it wasn't a restoration background that you came into. Is that what kind of fueled going into learning and really understanding what brought you in to really wanting to get further or grow in the restoration industry?
Yeah, when I got into this, I was new to restoration. I was new to entrepreneurship, running my own business. I have a background in business, so I kind of have the foundation, but the actual blocking and tackling and managing people and understanding what drives people and how to grow an organization and all that stuff was, I knew about it, but it was new to me, and I started slow. I really didn't like reading, or I didn't read all that much. And then I just I started reading and then read a little bit more, and now it's just one of the habits that I do every day. And then I take downtime or travel time, or when I go for a morning walk or whatnot, to listen to podcasts and get a idea of what's going on in the world. So now it's become a habit that I do, and I really found that it allows me to kind of expand the breadth of things that I'm interested in, and take all these little tidbits to understand how the world works and how it can impact our business, and how we can use strategies that everyone's been using for a long time in the restoration industry to really improve our business, to move things forward, to bring better customer experience to our business. So it's all coming together. But yes, it's something that I've I did it initially out of a necessity to learn, but now it's become a habit and I really enjoy it.
I really love that, Keegan, because the thing is that so many times, we catch ourselves day to day just going through the motions, just working, and a lot of us don't find the time to be intentional about learning. And what it sounds like is, at some point, you decided that you needed to be intentional with taking the initiative to learn every day. Uh, Kind of what in your life caused you to pivot and say, I need to start learning every day?
Because I realized I didn't know what the heck I was doing. So that's really, when I first got into the restoration industry. I mean, if you read CNR magazine front to back every month, after, a few months, a year, whatever, you'll know a lot about the restoration industry. You'll know a lot about what's going on. You'll know some technical aspects. You'll learn new techniques that are coming out, et cetera, et cetera. So, even doing that, like, when CNR or any other industry publication comes out, I I read it because it's the industry I'm in. And okay, that's one of my things I do for a day or two, right? I read it, I understand it, and then, it's just something that again, reading's become something that I enjoy. And it, like I said, it wasn't always like that. It was very, I had to force myself. But if you do a little bit every day, 5 minutes, 10 minutes max, right? That's all I do is 10 minutes max. You get through a lot of material in a year.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. You also mentioned that you do a lot of learning to help you navigate through leadership. Is there a specific book or podcast that you enjoy listening to, that you'd say, as a leader in, growing how to be a leader, that you found to be impactful?
Yeah, there's tons of books. Patrick Lencioni, you know, I forget the guys. Start with Y. He,
Yeah, Simon
the
Sinek.
name Simon Sinek. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
I love that
Just
book.
books like that. Get you in that mindset, right? That frame of like, okay, good to great, right?
Mhm.
Get you in that mindset of, okay, I'm leading this organization. Why am I leading this organization, right? What do I have to do um, that will help this organization become what it can be, and even outlive me, right? How can I pass this on to whoever's going to take over next, and set that foundation? So I think that's what being a leader is about, is really setting a vision for where you want to go, understanding why you're doing what you're doing, right? Start with why, and then build a really great organization that can transcend you. So,
Right, right,
but and again, a lot of this came from necessity because I didn't know a lot about that
right.
when I started.
So now that you know how necessary learning is, what do you do as a leader to make sure that your team, or is also learning and growing?
It's hard. I buy endless amounts of books that I know that nobody reads, right? Even my business partner Tim, who some of you may know, I give him books all the time, and I know he doesn't read all of them, but whether it's learning, he likes, he's more of a uh, I'll do the book on tape type of or audio
Audible.
book or
Hmm.
audible audiobook, whatever. So something like that's good for him. But
Right.
I send him little clips, or he's more short format, right? He doesn't like he's like, I could have told you what the book is about in the first 10 minutes, right? So but it doesn't matter how you consume the knowledge, or get the knowledge, or um consume the material. It's that you get out of it, and then you're able to think about it and then put it into practice, or kind of see how that fits into your life and your world and what you're dealing with right now.
Okay. Yeah, I love that because I depends on the type. Like you said, CNR magazine, when it comes to magazines, I need the magazine in my hand. I need to be
Sure.
able to flip through the pages. But then when it comes to books, it's different. I actually prefer consuming it through Audible, because it's just, I don't know, I guess it gives me anxiety when I see like 1,000 pages, but I
Yeah.
can listen to 1,000 pages. It's all about perception. But you're right. It doesn't matter how you gain the knowledge. It's about the willingness to get to learn, the willingness to take in the information. And I love what you said about, because it sounds like you know the people that you work with, and you know how they also prefer to consume knowledge. So if you're sending something that's impactful to them, like with Tim, send him something that is either going to come in a summary and or an audible book, in order for him to really, if you want him to really be able to listen to it. And I know, like I said, you send me stuff all the time. I think you sent me something the other day. I've got to get back to you on it. But
You'll love it. It's a award-winning commercial about your friend Grace.
oh, yeah, that conversation's to be continued. But yes, so learning is so important, not just in restoration. Yes, in restoration, but in everything that we do in life. Now, we're kind of getting close to the end of our time here. Is there anything that you would like to share in addition to what we just spoke about with learning, and your power skill?
Well, I really think that, one, if you want to get started, if you don't do it and you're like, oh, that's daunting, I have to do this every day. You don't have to do it every day. You can be forgiving on yourself, right? But start. Say, hey, I'm going to read this book, or I'm going to listen to this book, or I'm going to listen to a podcast. I love podcasts. People are making podcasts that are insightful. They're entertaining a lot of times. So they're easy to listen to, and you do get knowledge out of that. So however you want to get the knowledge, just dive into it, and read a whole bunch of stuff, right? Not just industry specific, but business specific, or anything. Learn how other companies are dealing with customer experience, how they're making it an awesome customer experience, right? Um, but then you know the other thing, the final thing, is just you have to take time to, it's part of growing yourself, right? Becoming a better human, and the better human you are, the better you can lead, the better you can do your job, the more capable you become. And like anything, you can have a fast race car, but if you don't keep your foot on the pedal, it's not going to go, and eventually it's going to slow down and stop. So you don't want to get there. You want to just keep going forward, and a little bit, any little bit helps. And over time, be persistent. You'll build up a whole library of books or podcasts or whatever that you've read.
Well, thank you, Keegan. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with us today, your tips and tricks. I really appreciate you joining me on this little mini podcast episode for the masterclass season, and I look forward to I don't know where else, when and where I'll see you next, but I look forward to us connecting soon in the future.
Awesome. Thanks, Mandy.
Of course.